Okay, so we're moving on to agenda item 6, approval of board objectives and policy. 6.1 is the only one that requires action. The policy 430 on withdrawals. It's a second reading. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Keating. Aye. Ms. Holland.
Aye.
Mrs. Oshauger. Aye. Ms. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan.
Aye.
Ms. Kashmir.
6.2 and 6.3 are revised first reading. Moving on to agenda item 7, approval of financials. Resolution approving and ratifying the bills and the budget transfers, accepting the monthly financial report. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple of comments. I know we've talked previously about how do we get to a comfortable place to exercise our fiduciary responsibility and pay the bills. And I gotta tell you, this is the packet for this month of our bills. And I gotta tell you, I don't think we're quite where we need to be yet. As I was looking through this stack of bills, of which there's very small print in as well, to approve of these after the fact, it just seems to me that there's got to be a better way to do this. As I was looking through, quite frankly, there's a couple in there that jumped off the page at me, and if they were to be pulled out, I probably would not approve them. With all of that said, I'm really suggesting that we go back to the drawing board to see if we can come up with a better way for us to exercise our fiduciary responsibility. Because I want to approve the bills, but quite frankly, this isn't getting at it. And like it or not, with the COD in the news. And they're going to continue to be in the news, and as I said, they're going to hurt all community colleges. I don't want to be approving of something that, quite frankly, I know there's things in it I would not approve of. So can we do something to maybe take another look at this, or a better way to do this? I'm not comfortable approving of this like this.
Well, certainly go back and take a look at some other options. We did agree upon an option at re-rating, brought the policy back, changed it to the current practice here. So, David, I don't know if you have any thoughts, or we just need to approve and talk with them.
That's one thing that you look at, everyone does it a little different, and how they respond to the law. Yes.
And also, you consult with our counsel regarding,
Yeah, and I think there's a difference though between what our council says is legal and doing with what we're comfortable with. I mean, there are folks out there that would argue, hey, once we approve the budget for the college in July, quite frankly, we've approved of the expenditures. Well, I'm not of that mindset. I don't think that's a high enough standard of accountability on our part. If we're going to be approving of expenditures, there's got to be a better way to do it, because like I said, there's things in here I know I would not have voted in favor of if they were separated out. So I think we just need to look at a better way so that we're accountable and we can say without hesitation that yes, I approve of this.
But timing, I mean, we can't stop the process and hold up the operation because we're approving those ahead of us. I mean, I think that what we put in place where everything is reviewed by your staff, everything is fully cleared, and you check everything out before you even give it to us, correct? So, I mean, I like the concept, but I can understand that there can be improvements to what we're doing.
Yeah, and I don't want to embarrass anybody tonight, but I'd be happy to discuss it with you later on stuff that's in there that, quite frankly, there's no way it should be in there.
There are some other options. We've tried 2 different pathways now. We agreed upon a pathway, and the board didn't quite like that, so we altered to this pathway. If there are other pathways, though, I suggested some other options. So why don't we review how we got to where we are with you, and we'll send you that information, and we'll suggest several other things you can do.
And see, I know how we got here, and that's what I
Yeah.
first said when I started. I know we've talked about this before, but we're not where we need to be accountable for what we're passing.
Okay, well, we'll regroup them and bring some other options.
And Madam Chairman, I fully agree with Trustee Vegetarian. This is, this is where we're at now. This is how we got here. We all know that. And now we have this concise booklet that we get every year. But, this is what happens when you run a college based on what the newspaper says. This has to be what's our best judgment, our best thought, our best resources, and do it our way. Just because the newspaper that sells, very few papers is going to tell us what to do, I think that's wrong. So
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, we've gone over and over. We know that we have multiple fail-safes in place in terms of looking at the expenditures, where they're coming from, who approves them, how they get to where they are before the board sees them. And yes, there may be some that, one board member personally disagrees with, or that sort of thing. But I think in terms of due diligence, we're doing everything we can to make sure we're doing our due diligence in looking through these and not letting things happen like what happened at COD.
Right.
And obviously, it was Daisy for a reason. And believe it or not, we do trust your judgment.
Some of our fail-safes are not working. It's great to say that, we put these things in place. Well, yeah, we put it in place, but there needs to be some major improvement in some of our fail-safes that we've put in there because
Well, that might
like I
be
said, I'm
the
not
way
going to
to-
embarrass anybody now, but we need to take
The way to approach that then, Trustee Olschlager, I would suggest is that you talk with Daisy and let me know what your specific concerns are that are specific.
My specific concern is that the standard for accountability, for me as a trustee, is not high enough. It may be high enough for you, and that's fine, you come from a different perspective.
I
For me as
understand.
a trustee, the standards are not.
But you need to talk with him and let
I'm
him
just
know
telling you,
one-on-one what the
the
problems are.
standards that we're using, I don't believe are.
And you've made that clear. Okay, good. I would like to continue the discussion.
Well, I don't think we should just bury it because I happen to disagree with you on this issue. If we're accountable, we're accountable. The way it currently is, I do not feel comfortable with that.
And I
being
understand that
accountable to the
you've made the record, and there's no problem with that, and no one's burying it. But it can move on.
Yeah, well, we've probably done what we can do for tonight. We'll talk about other options, bring you other options, we'll take a look at it. We will probably need to have some specifics from the board in terms of what you want as a standard in these books. There are other ways that boards use to review these matters, certainly.
Well, I certainly understand that you can't hold up the operation of the college and try to take one at a time every single thing that comes in, because there are things that have to be done.
So, may I make a suggestion? I actually am also very uncomfortable approving anything that I do after the fact. From an accounting standpoint, I'm actually held at a fiduciary standard by the state of Illinois, so I can get sued, which is a very uncomfortable idea. So I am uncomfortable approving anything that is after the fact, approving after the fact. Think about that. So I think this is probably a great opportunity for this board to choose a committee for this particular item, since it is a very sensitive item, and some of us on the board may be a little bit more sensitive to it than others. Nonetheless, it's still a very important part of our fiduciary responsibility on the board. But I am extremely uncomfortable approving anything after the fact. So if there is any vote, my answer is no.
Well, we have
vote for this.
But my suggestion would be then that if you and trustee Olschreiber would like to be a committee to look into this further, and committee and others.
Sure.
And after that-
Oh, that would be,
And then I'll bring David, and I think that would be.
no, if we're going to meet with this, it should be a committee of the whole like we do all
Oh, yeah, we
other
can do that one, sure,
committees.
sure. We can have a committee of the whole, why don't we though take the month
Why
of,
don't you take a look at it and see if you can come
Yeah.
up with some options.
I do know that with public entities, including school districts throughout the state, not just college districts, that approvals are made after the fact. That's the way that the standard operation is for the most part. And I don't think trustee Anderson and I would say that we don't have a fiduciary duty, because we do. We're officers of the court, and we also have a fiduciary and ethical duty. So it's extremely important to us also.
Then we should handle it.
I agree with that.
We should handle it appropriately and give it, give it the attention that it needs. That's right. Certainly we should.
well, we'll schedule a committee of the whole meeting. In the meantime, I will come up with some other options.
So you do need a roll call for the motion in a second that's out right now for people in this case.
Ms. Teague? Abstain. Ms. Howard?
Aye.
Mrs. Olshauger?
No,
Ms. Paul?
No.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Dr. Farragut?
Oh.
Ms. Kashmirian?
And what's the roll call on that? Is that 3-3?
3-3.
Let's see the trees. So David, what happens if we don't pay the bills?
Now, what happens if we don't approve the bills?
This means we wouldn't pay the bills. Probably the first time in its history.
I gotta get my check back.
Yeah.
no, they're all after the fact. They've already been paid.
As far as we can see, these checks have already been written and they're already in the hands of the vendors, so I don't know what the comment is about.
No.
This is,
You voted not to approve the expenditures for this year. No, you're one of three, so now
Yes.
it's split vote.
So that's everybody.
We already said what.
Everybody knows the motion didn't pass.
So David, what are bills that don't get paid?
Yeah.
Because the board voted against. Well, it's a 3-3 split. What do we do, make another motion?
No, the motion doesn't pass.
I can't tell you the immediate impact I wasn't anticipating, but any bill in excess of $5,000, so our next.
I would suggest to the board that a new motion be made and a second to approve these bills.
I don't think that's according to Robert's Rules of Order.
So I'll make a motion to approve those.
I don't believe that's in line with Robert's Rules of Order.
I don't believe with the motion didn't fail, it was a tie vote.
The motion did not pass.
Yes.
According to Robert's Rules of Order, motion was made, it was seconded, a proper vote was passed, and the motion did not pass.
Second that. What's the options for refund?
I think the motion failed at the moment. I think you could, would it be possible to reframe the motion to take out the particular bill that is causing concern?
Well, or to make a motion to approve these bills as they stand, subject to the administration bringing back other options to the board and planning a committee of the whole to look at other options for board approval.
That was my motion.
That was your motion. Can we have a second?
Can you second on that, please? I'll second it. Roll call.
I just get clarification. We are not voting to approve, we are voting.
We're voting to approve these with a committee of the whole meeting and changing the process going forward. And in the event that we want to add the amendment from going out, whatever it is.
No,
No,
it just
okay.
that we'll
It's not
let
in
the
there. All right.
administration will commit to bring the options before the board, and then we'll also bring a committee of the whole, so the whole board can discuss how they want to move forward.
Okay, so it's trustee Anderson's motion. Roll call, please.
Ms. Teeting? Aye. Ms. Holland?
Aye.
Mrs. Olschlager?
No,
Ms. Paul?
No.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Dr. Kerrigan?
Okay, I should have.
Me without you would be the same as us.
Aye.
Ms. Kasharian?
Aye.